comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Well, greetings, Boise State fans. Happy Tuesday to you. BJ Rains here, Bronco Nation News Live. BroncoNationNews.com. We got the mobile studios today on the road as I am with some family in St. Louis, but we got the nice shiny banners behind us. We're making this work. Jay Tust with us on a Tuesday. We did not have a show yesterday as I was traveling. So, Jay, you get to help recap the golf tournament yesterday. I figured it'd be a much better choice than Johnny to do that anyway, based on what I saw out there on the course. But happy Tuesday, man. How's it going?
Oh, it's good. Not as good as last Friday, though.
That was a lot of fun.
It was a blast, man. You did a great job. I'm going to give a ton of credit to your better half, too. Karen and her mom. You guys, Naismith was out there. You guys did an awesome job. It was great. It's funny you keep saying on social media and stuff. I see that you're already working on ways to make it better next year. Well, it was pretty good this year, man.
This was the picture of the tournament for me. Yeah, with Naismith up there helping give out the. Can you hear me? Okay, by the way.
I can hear you. Yeah,
I got the headset today, a little different setup. It was easier to travel with, and we didn't get a chance to test it before the show because I thought you were late and I hadn't sent you the link to join, so that was on me. But there was a lot of fun. We are going to talk John Ojukwu today. He is number 6 on our countdown. Stefan Cobbs, Steph Cobbs is number 5 on our countdown today. We got a pizza to give away as well, but I do want to take a few minutes and just to, a lot of people had wanted us to do a live broadcast. They had wanted some different things, and we weren't able to do that, but I did put a little video together, Jay. We'll just kind of talk through some things as we watch, but sold out, man, 132 players, and the pace of play wasn't too bad either.
No, I thought the pace of play was perfect. Didn't feel rushed. Didn't feel
Mike Prater, by the way, on hole 8 here. Mike Prater. We won't show where the ball lands, by the way, but Mike Prater, you got to hit it over the water. This is not an easy hole here, Jay.
You can't see where it lands because it went right in the hole for him.
It's
in the hole.
There's a different angle of it. Yeah, he may have fallen just a little bit short. Now here's the shot. We wish we could see where it landed. A lot of comments, Jay, on social media about the size of your shirt.
Large.
You got to speak up a little bit, man. I don't know if it's you.
It was an extra large.
All right.
Come on now, guys.
Now, what do you think? We've seen 3 straight shots here. We saw Prater, we saw Tust, and now here we are seeing Johnny. The address, the setup's actually not bad here.
Where do you go with this, though? The drawback, the follow through, the fact that he's wearing flip flops. I mean,
there is a lot to go on here.
Yeah.
There is a.
Prater looks legit. Prater looks like he knows what he's doing out there.
Yeah, he made a little 4-footer we put in there that gave his team a birdie, I believe, and that was hole 7. Now, what do you think of Coach Schultz's swing here? This is the Boise State softball coach, Justin Schultz.
Okay, first off, this is a 400-yard wide open fairway, and he's using a fairway wood off the tee.
Hold on, we got to go back to that for a second because you guys were having a little trash talk. Let's hear what he says here on the.
I was trying to tee him up.
Is the center of the fairway good, Jay?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, Justin is fine, but like I said, a 400-yard par 4 wide open fairway. I mean, come on, man. Dog, hit the driver.
Oh, man. Here's Coach Tim Duryea. Now, this was the cool part of the tournament. The Idaho Youth Sports Commission, who, Jay, I can announce we're going to be donating just over $5,000 to the Idaho Youth Sports Commission from this tournament. Tim Brady was out there. What did you think of the little game they had set up here?
A fun little game. Tim is an awesome dude, full of energy. The Idaho Youth Sports Commission is one of my favorite nonprofits. Done some work with them in the past, too. And Love that you picked them to help out.
Now you went for the reverse throw there. Naismith
Yeah,
went for the kick.
I wasn't even close. I thought I was going to backspin that thing, make it die in one of those hoops. Basically, you had to land one of those balls in the hoop to get a prize.
Yeah, and you could use any ball you wanted, and you can use any method you wanted to get it there, kicking it or throwing it. And my son here that we're going to show goes for the kick and went a little bit to the right. And then you'd went for the backwards football throw. There's Naismith giving it a shot. This was about the only 5 minutes I got to actually relax and enjoy during the whole tournament, watching folks do this. A little off on there. But here's Matt Bauscher. I'm loving the pink shorts there. He made a comment that the mic wasn't loud enough to hear about. Did you see that drive? So they're using his drive on the hole, and then he chips it up there onto the green. So we appreciate Matt. We're going to see some of the foursomes here, Jay. But overall, Jay, it was great to meet a lot of people and see the different groups. And it was a good combination of folks we knew and folks we met. And overall, it was a great time.
Yeah, just a good day of energy. And, man, we got lucky with the weather. It wasn't too hot. We didn't have any rain or any of that stuff. A little wind, but that was way after the tournament was over. Great day out at Timberstone. My first time playing that course. Again, we all joked about the drive out there. It's not right around the corner for sure, but it was a beautiful course, BJ. I thought it was an awesome course.
Yeah, it was in great shape, and again, all of our sponsors, we appreciate them. There were some booths set up. You got some pretty good swag to take home with the different holes, Jay.
I was more concerned about getting a couple of free tin roof tacos. But
yeah, hey, big shout out to Colin Mitchell and the Morales brothers right there. They did a great job helping out, filling ice, and they were kind of the guys that when something went wrong or I needed something, I just asked one of them to do it. So big shout out to the Morales brothers, and Chef Wally had a great lunch out there as well afterwards, Jay. And look at the crowd here. We had a 150 plus people stuck around for lunch. And how about Roberto Bergeson? I mean, this dude couldn't play in the morning and texted me the night before at 10 o'clock. Hey man, I'm more than happy to come out and hang out if you'd like me to. And I'm like, hey man, if you want to come on out, come all the way out. So he came out and talked to the crowd. I thought that was pretty cool too.
You made a mistake. You would have made it a 3-on-3 pickup game at the Y. Berto would have showed up ready to hang 50 on somebody. So.
Yeah, he was. He came all the way out there, and we talked. We heard from Mike Burns as well. We heard from Brian King talking about the Idaho Youth Sports Commission. But overall, it was just a great day, and I really appreciate it. Now, tell us about this moment here, Jay. We'll pause it here.
First off, there was the wonderful Jordan Morales was spreading a rumor that I had coleslaw in that thing. We all know that I don't believe in rabbit food. So
that was homemade barbecue sauce, by the way, from Chef Wally.
Chef Wally's food is always unbelievable. This is where Justin Schultz informs me that he won closest to the pin. And again, man, I get it, Justin. When you start to lose a little bit of your athleticism, you no longer compete for the long drive. You go for things like closest to the pin, more finesse and strength. Hey, if that's the way you want to go, man, I'm kidding and I'm not kidding all at the same time.
Pretty impressive, though. He dropped it within 4 feet on hole 8 over the water, the Boise Dentistry closest to the pin. And then when I told him he won, he started laughing, but he would not. He refused. And I said, hey, man, you're out here. You had it. You can win. I was going to give him the prize. And he refused to take the prize and gave it to the, the closest paying participant in the tournament. But the true closest to the pin winner was the coach of the softball team, Justin Schultz.
And actually, that meant that somebody in my group won closest to the pin. I believe it was Chris that dropped that thing in there from Atkinson's Mirror and Glass. An awesome time with those quote-unquote gentlemen on the course. They made it a very, very fun day. And that actually meant that somebody from my group ended up winning.
We appreciate Johnny and Prater for being out there as well, doing their show. And it was a great time for the four of us out there. But my favorite two picks are at the end here with the family. And you mentioned them. And, it was pretty cool to have my wife and son. And couldn't have my other son out there. He was out of town. But to have my mother-in-law out there helping as well. And, it was a weird day for me, Jay, because I'd put so much work into it. And then you everywhere I looked, it was somebody I knew for the most part, whether it be a friend. I had 3 or 4 teams of just friends of mine that decided to sign up teams. And then you had all the coaches and all you guys out there. And it really was kind of there's Ryan Lundgren. Oh, there's Cody Butler. Oh, there's, another one of my friends just kind of looked back and forth. There's, Taylor Tharp came in at the end and played on a team. And we had Adam Bledsoe, Drew Bledsoe's brother, Adam Bledsoe, showed up, and Clint Horniman was there. And everywhere you look, it was just somebody that you knew, and it was pretty cool.
I think Nick Daniels and Alec Daniels were out there. Obviously,
Thomas Spurbeck. They ended up getting second place.
Yeah, they shot a 59.
That was your group, by the way, with the Atkinson's Mirror and Glass.
Yeah, we got Dan from left to right, not including me. You got Dan, Isaac, Chris, and Dakota. What an awesome group of guys. And I mean, no offense to Dan and Isaac, but Dakota and Chris were the ringers, man. Those guys can play some golf, dude.
Yeah, that was.
We were like 205 yards out. I can't remember what hole. Back 9, middle of the fairway. The green did not have a lot of room on it, and Chris just like stuck a 7-iron like 5 feet from the pin. It was like a shot that I will dream of one day hitting.
The course was in great shape, and the greens were in great shape. And yeah, it was fun. I did get about an hour or so to, once we were set up for the lunch, to drive around and see everybody taking some shot. And it's funny because for 3 months I'm looking at names on tee sheets and registration things and all this, and then to actually see the groups out there playing, it was a lot of fun. We're already looking at how to make next year's tournament better. But I really appreciate you, Jay, coming out. Appreciate you giving up your time, and Johnny and Prater and everybody that came, and hopefully they had a good time, because it really was a lot of fun. And Jordan Morales saying a great photo of the BNN crew. I won't forget the experience of being at the tournament, and those were the MVPs, by the way. I mean, twice they had to leave to go make ice runs. There were a couple things I severely underestimated when putting on my first tournament here, and how much ice you're going to run through is one of them. So they made 2 different trips to Albertsons, and that's also counting them stopping on the way in when they got there at 6 a.m. to bring like 10 bags. They did a lot of work, and so they're
awesome dudes. I
yep.
gotta add that. They were awesome dudes. They're doing great work for Bronco Nation, and they don't receive much out of it besides just being loyal Bronco fans, which I think is so cool.
Well, appreciate both of them. They're usually watching these shows, and appreciated Jordan and Derek, and I was able to hook them up with. Oh, now Jordan is chiming in saying it was total about 70 bags of ice. So yeah, it was hot out there, and I think next year that might be one change we make. We may have somebody manning the alcohol stations. We had 3 nice stations of alcohol, but they seem to go pretty quick when there's no one from the tournament there observing how many it takes. That may have been yeah. I think I'm not going to mention a former football player. One of the ones you mentioned already. I may have watched them take their cooler off the side of the cart and put, see how many Mick Ultras they could fit in there before heading back to the next hole. So it was a good time. And yeah, appreciate everybody for coming out and all the great money. And yeah, we raised about $6,000 for charity. $5,000 we're going to give to the Idaho Youth Sports Commission. We're donating $500 to support the family of Rick Worthington. And we are donating $500 to the BAA also for the coaches playing in the tournament as well, in lieu of an appearance fee. No, it was not Darren College somebody's chiming in for, but I won't out them. But everybody had a good time, and it was well-deserved. And again, thanks to all for coming. We're already looking at the same Friday, maybe next year after Memorial Day, June 2nd. We'll see. But yeah, we're going to, hey, the guy, Tad Holloway out there, the head pro, former BSU golfer, was already saying, hey, do a morning and an afternoon with lunch in the middle, man. Maybe get some more teams out there. Maybe we get 50 teams, do a double shotgun start. Jay gets to play 2 rounds in the morning and afternoon. I mean, who knows?
I'll take it. We'll just do 2 a year.
Well, maybe we do one in the fall. Maybe we're usually a little busy at that time of year. That's why this was a little. This is kind of the good time for us in June to make this happen. But I know overall, thanks one more time to all the sponsors. Rowpaint.com. They had the nice golf towels they were passing out. Appreciate those. You had the T-shirts you're getting from Idaho Central Credit Union. So a lot of great sponsors out there. I heard Shop Strange. They came in as a late sponsor. They were providing some beverages that they maybe weren't supposed to be given out, but they had a good time, I believe, on the Shop Strange hole. You mentioned Atkinson's Mirror and Glass. They were on 17, I believe, over the other par 3 over the water. We had Long Drive was we had Boise Dentistry Co. on the closest to the pin, and then Long Drive was United Commercial Insurance. So appreciate them and all of our great sponsors that were out there. And yeah, Tim Brady, Idaho Youth Sports Commission at hole 2 was the most important hole of the tournament. So happy we could help them out, and happy that we could, it was overall. There were a couple of small things I would have done differently, but overall, after planning it for 3 months, it was a huge success.
You're nitpicking, man.
Yep. Great. Well, I appreciate it, man. So we are continuing our countdown. We kind of got screwed up last week with having different, Memorial Day and then no show on Friday. So we're kind of behind by 1. So we're going to knock off 2 to today, Jay, number 6 and number 5. And number 6 is our 3rd offensive lineman that makes the top 25 and our 2nd in the top 10. Ojukwu comes in at number 6 on our list, and he's just a steady force. And if you wanted to actually argue maybe that KHG could be more important to this group at this time, and I would at least listen to that argument. We talked about KHG a couple days ago or last week with what he did, but you talk about it's a minimum, Jay, I should have asked you this before we started. It's a minimum of 19 straight starts. He started every game last year and every game the year before, and then he started 11 of 12 games in 2019. I wasn't able to find out which game it was, but he's going to have a 20-plus game starting streak going into this season. But he is the most experienced player in terms of starts on the Boise State roster, Jay. 36 career starts across the line. He's played in 41 games. And as I said, started every game the past 2 seasons. He's just a steady, reliable force. You know what you're getting. And he decided to come back for that COVID year, and it's going to be a huge benefit to this offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, Boise State has, I would say benefited from the additional COVID year rule a few times now. When it comes to this coming season, though, John Ojukwu, I mean, he might be the biggest coup of that rule, just because I would assume if you're a coach, like there are positions where any position you love returning starters, right? But I feel like if you have a returning starter, probably a left tackle and a quarterback, those might be like the 2 you would pick to have returning starters at. We obviously know Hank Bachmeier's coming back under center, but at left tackle now they get John Ojukwu back. And if it wasn't for COVID, it took 2 or 3 years for that thing to pay off, I guess. I'm kidding, but whatever. But they do get John Ojukwu for an extra year, and it's going to be a chance for him to develop for another year, put more game tape together, maybe play with an offensive line that will produce and be a little more steady this season, which will probably help his draft stock one way or the other. And so it's a chance for him to live out his dream playing on the blue another year, and then also chase his dream of playing in the NFL when all this wraps up. But a massive get for Andy Avalos and Tim Keene to get John Ojukwu back.
Yeah, there was a lot of shuffle and there was a lot of changes on the offensive line last year, but there was one constant. It was John Ojukwu at left tackle. They didn't mess with him. I mean, he was out, and I mean, he was out there every game. And there was, like I said, problems at center, problems across the board. But he's proven that for the most part,
I would say OJ was unflappable. I mean, because you're so right. Like, he was on the left side, and all across the board on the right, I felt like there was just so much shuffling and so much going on, but they could always just kind of lean on John to be, that steady force over on the left side. And and he's a local kid too. Like, I mean, I remember when he came out of high school and thinking like, man, how is this kid going to play left tackle for the Boise State football team? And they've done a wonderful job, working on his body, building up his strength. He is a tireless worker in the weight room. Dude drinks a gallon of milk a day. I mean, like, he really invests into his craft, and you can see it really starting to pay off.
Yeah, 4 of the first 8 games, he had somebody different lining up next to him at left guard. I mean, and so it was just kind of a rotating door there. And, as I said, every game the last 2 seasons. And I want to say, I'm trying to remember, I can't remember 2019. There was one game, I think he had a hurt foot or something. I don't remember exactly, but he's got at least 20 straight starts going back to 2019, and we'll figure out which game that was. But that's a pretty impressive start for an offensive lineman. And it's funny because the one year was only 7 games, the COVID year, but so some of the numbers and stats and all are different. But in return, he's getting a full extra year this year. So you get all of this year or not 2019. So it kind of works out. But we saw last year, was it Kekala setting the games played record and all that because he got a full extra season.
Yeah.
And so we'll see how all that plays out. But I totally agree. There's a few guys that the last couple of years, Riley Wimpy last year was a huge return for the COVID situation. And we're going to have this moving forward. But if you had a chance, you have to have 85 scholarships. If you could have a 6th year of John Ojukwu, or, some incoming freshman that might take 2 or 3 years to develop, I think it was a pretty easy choice to go with John.
Yeah, and that's another good point, too. It gives another year for whoever's going to have to replace OJ a chance to develop a little bit, because I would say there's a little bit of a gap there, at least on June 7th, 2022. So it'll be somebody behind him is going to have a chance to grow and develop there, too.
Ed says, played against John in high school, probably the nicest person I've ever played against. He would compliment me anytime I put a move on him. Does that surprise you?
Yeah, but man, Chad was this 2-way force for the Centennial Patriots. I mean, the guy just never took a down off. So doesn't surprise me that John was that complimentary. I'm also going to guess that Chad wasn't as complimentary back at him. Chad was a competitor.
I would have never thought that, but when I just picture somebody putting a nice move on John Ojukwu and him going, "That was a nice move, dude," like that doesn't surprise me one bit.
Yeah.
But no, but we do, I guess, to kind of wrap this part of it up. Three offensive linemen in our top 25, Jay. I think that is obviously evident that last year that was one of the huge areas of this team that had to improve this year.
Yeah, it does. And, it was funny. I can't remember who it was on Twitter yesterday or sometime in the last couple of days. But they were talking about Kellen Moore and how he was sacked
seven times, I think, in his career, and Hank was 6 in one game last year or something.
Seven times his senior season.
Okay, yeah.
And Hank went down 6 times against Nevada alone. Now, again, some of this stuff always gets pinned on the offensive line, and it shouldn't always get only solely pinned on the offensive line. There is more to it. But still, I mean, that is a glaring disparity in terms of how they were able to handle pressure and protect the quarterback or get the ball out, whatever it was. 7 in a season, 6 in one game.
Pretty, yeah. And again, combination of Kellen being pretty darn good and the O-line struggling, but you get Cade Beresford in there, you get KHG back. I think both those two are going to be huge additions, and then you have the steady left tackle John Ojukwu back.
And Ben Dooley now finally has a ton of experience. So if we're talking about Ben being potentially their 4th best offensive lineman, we've said it in the past, but again, I really think they're in a much better spot because Ben Dooley's a player, man. He is great in the run game, getting better in the pass game. They could be in a really good position moving forward. And he's only been playing football for a few years. Like, Ben's going to make some big jumps here too.
Yeah, and you got Will Farah back, and I believe Garrett Curran's back too, right? I mean, you got almost maybe too many guys for 5 spots, which is
finally some competition. Like, finally some guys going to be feeling some heat. Like, if they don't perform, their job's going to get taken, not necessarily we got to plug and play somebody because this isn't working. Like,
and if there's an injury too, you get an injury too, you finally have somebody ready to go. So yeah, the O-line, and again, next week or the week after, I forget when, we're going to start kind of a 25 storylines, which is more broader positions type things. And I'm sure the offensive line will be on there for one of those. Hey, Father's Day, just around the corner, get out there to the Blue and Orange store, all the great Nike gear they've got going on at the Blue and Orange store. Check them out, all the new retro shirts, all the new mini helmets, all the great stuff. Blue and Orange store gave away all the prizes at the golf tournament. We really appreciate the Blue and Orange store for helping, and Travis Hawks and David Gardner. They've done a great job. So we appreciate that crew over there at Capital 11 and the Blue and Orange store. Check them out online at the blueandorangestore.com or at the mall if you're in the area. Ridley's Family Markets as well. Shop Ridley's 13 Idaho locations. You got the at-home shopping, the Skip app, all that great stuff. Check them out. Ridley's Family Markets. United Commercial Insurance. Again, they did the longest drive competition, provided some great prizes. We're very appreciative of them for helping out with that. 44 states around the country they can write business insurance in. So check them out, UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. Boise Dentistry Co. as well. They have the closest to the pin. And they had a lot of great prizes they were giving away there on hole 8, so we appreciate them. Full Family Dentistry. Check them out, BoiseDentistryCo.com. And of course, Transportation Compliance Service. If you're looking to get into the trucking industry, now's the perfect time. They can help you with all the permits and things you need to get out there on the road and towing that first load. So it's a great new career change. If you're looking for a fresh start, consider getting into the trucking industry, and they can help you out. Transcomservice.com. Okay, we roll to number 5, Jay, in the last 5 minutes or so here of the show, and it's number 5. At number 5, with 5 minutes left in the show, we're going with Stefan Cobbs at wide receiver for Boise State. And, I think it's pretty obvious that he's going to have a huge role on this team this year. You lose Khalil Shakir. He becomes the number 1 guy. But not just, I don't know if I've ever seen, Jay, you've obviously tracked this stuff probably more than I have, but a guy have 1 punt return and land as the second team All Mountain West punt return, 81-yard touchdown on his first punt return of the season in the second game of the season, I believe, against UTEP. Doesn't return one the rest of the season, and 3 months later is the second team All Mountain West returner.
So when we talk about these return stats, like fair catches don't count as an actual return, obviously, right? So the one time he caught a punt and decided, yep, I'm getting north, he housed it 81 yards. And I was in our market. I ended up being the guy that got the vote for the All Mountain West team last year. And it's funny, BJ, I saw Stefan Cobbs' name as one of the candidates, and I'm like, wait, what? He's only got one return. I mean, Khalil handled most of those responsibilities. And you go through the list and you're like, wow. I mean, there just wasn't there weren't a lot of good punt returners, or more than anything, there wasn't a ton of volume of punt returns in the Mountain West last year. And so Steph was like, he ended up as a second teamer, and I put him as my second teamer just because he did have the second best production as a punt returner, believe it or not. So kind of crazy. He's going to be more valuable to this team in the passing game, clearly moving forward. Entered last season with 7 catches, had 34 catches last year, had one big game where he had 10 catches. Outside of that, 2 games with 6 catches. Everything outside of that, though, was 3 catches and below. So, he had a few games where he was really, really productive. Had a number of games where probably Khalil Shakir overshadowed him a little bit. I believe Steph also dealt with an injury for a little bit last year too. But he's going to be it seems like Steph is going to have to be a 60 catch guy in order for this offense to go this fall. I'd say like at least 60 catches.
I was looking at 34. I mentioned 421 yards, 5 touchdowns. We're both second on the team as well. And yeah, you think about all the catches and balls that were thrown Khalil Shakir's way. A lot of those are going to now go Steph Cobb's way. I think he could easily be a 60, 70 catch guy. And he's just got to stay healthy. He had the ankle, caused him a couple games. He was a little ginger in a couple of the other games. We'd see him come off limping almost once a game, it seemed like, and he'd come back in there and do some things. But he's played in 22 games the past 3 seasons, started almost every game last year. I believe there was one game he didn't start. And then also led them in kick return yards as well, 10 for 200 in the kick return game in addition to the punt return game. And I know they did use, Shakir some, but I wonder with how far and away Cobbs is going to be their best receiver this year, if they may let somebody else handle some of the return duties.
Yeah, that'll be something that we pay attention to in fall camp, who's back there, who's helping and contributing on special teams, especially if you have a guy that you worry about his health. And I mean, they need him to be a stud at wide receiver this year. I would say, I mean, I don't mean to go too crazy here, but I would say if they don't get 60 catches and 800 yards out of Steph, then I wouldn't know where that production comes on offense if he doesn't provide that for him. And it's been cool to watch Steph mature too. I mean, you can really see where he started to take strides in his game and his preparation and all that stuff. And I think he's ready to have a big year. Like, I think he is ready for the moment. Khalil used to talk about how he learned from guys like Sean Modster, and this year I guarantee a huge storyline in fall camp with these wide receivers and be like, man, Khalil showed us the way. Now we just got to do what he did and throw it out there on game day.
Yeah, no, it's going to be exciting to see him out there, and certainly he's one of those candidates. I mean, I think Austin Bolt's a candidate, take a big step forward, continue to hear good things about him. I think Davis Cutter, as we talked about, is going to obviously be in line for a big year. You got that whole just group of guys, right? Shea Whiting, Billy Bowens, all those guys. Somebody's going to have to merge and have 15 catches this year out of that group. Do you feel okay if it's Cobbs, Cutter and Bolt? I mean, if that's the 3, how do you feel about that? Or who else do you see really being in the serious mix here?
I feel like Billy Bowens has to. I feel like he's going to contribute. I do feel like there's other guys that are going to step up. I think the one thing that stands out to me this team is I think that last year when they got in trouble a little bit or they needed, just to have a go-to guy, they had no problems peppering Khalil Shakir. So who is that? Who offers Hank Bachmeier that security blanket this year, that comfort that I just need to get this ball out. I need to put it in somebody's hands, and I'm gonna let him, go get some yak or whatever it is. Who's that guy? I think that's Steph Cobbs. Look, Latrell Caples looks great too. So just who's that guy? But I'll also say this. I think they spread it around a little bit more, and I think that George Helani, if he's healthy, is going to have a huge presence catching the ball out of the backfield.
Well, when you join us Friday, we're going to be revealing number 1 on the list, and the 4 players which we have not mentioned yet. Folks can probably guess by now the 4 players left for the top 4 in some order are J.L. Skinner, Hank Bachmeier, George Helani, and Scott Matlock. That's not a bad. You think about Steph Cobbs, Skinner, Matlock, Helani, Bachmeier. In terms of the top-heavy talent, the top-end talent on this team, there's some pretty talented guys on this roster.
So you're saying my guy at Eagle High, Ben Ford's not in the top 4? Just missed it.
I may have screwed up on that.
No. Hey, one day,
40,
Ben.
maybe 44. Maybe it was 44. No,
Ben is a dude though. Love Ben.
That always is the one downside of the one downside of doing this list. I even had somebody the first time I posted it on the Facebook page. Oh, this is going to hurt the morale in the locker room. Who made this? Who made this? A BYU fan? So I
mean, we know how much you love BYU.
Oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to that game.
And Prater, I mean, he obviously approved this list, and we know how much he likes BYU.
No doubt, but I know it'll be fun. So the rest of the week, we'll have Johnny tomorrow. We'll flip him from his Monday appearance to tomorrow, and then we'll have Prater on Thursday, and then we'll wrap up this 5-week series with number 1 on our list on Friday. And I think it'll be a very good discussion about number 1 and kind of what needs to happen for him to have a big year this year. So, Jay, again, appreciate your time today. Appreciate your time as always, twice a week, giving up 30 minutes to do this, and then the last Friday we had a lot of fun out there at the golf tournament. So appreciate you, man, and we'll be.
You just get out on the course again. You just let me know.
I one thing I am working on is when Top Golf opens. We'll do some sort of Top Golf event, similar thing where folks can buy rent out a bay and then get a celebrity to play with them, and we'll raise some money for charity that way as well. And I've been to a couple of those, and they're actually much easier to run than having to play an 18-hole golf tournament. So we will when Top Golf opens, and I don't know if you've driven by there lately, Jay. The posts are going up for the netting. It's starting to look exciting out there. So I think that's supposed to open in early 2023. So we'll get out there maybe in January or February or something, some evening, and do that, or I don't know. We'll see. But we're looking at June 2nd for next year, and we'll try to make the golf tournament bigger and better. But appreciate your time as always, man.
Sounds good, bud.
There he is, Jay Tust. He's the best in the business. KTVB. You can watch him and Will Hall all throughout the different newscasts and online as well. KTVB.com. Thanks, Jay.
Thanks, buddy. Hey, enjoy St. Louis. Tell the family I said hi.
I will. We'll go Friday night, see some Cardinals Reds. We could have seen what could have been, right? Your draft. We could have seen you out there.
Take it easy on my former team.
One more comment here for Jay. Says, yeah, you may have to work at KTB, whatever, when I want to listen to more. Oh, he's trying to take a shot at you for.
That's hilarious.
you and Chad going back and forth, I guess.
Yeah, it's been a while. My early years here, Chad, as a player.
There you go. All right. Well, appreciate it. Thanks, Chad, and thanks, Jay. Take care, man.
Sounds good, bud.
There he is, Jay Tust. Appreciate his time, and again, appreciate everybody for commenting. It was fun seeing Big Wade, and Kurt Blake was out there, and he says I busted my butt. Appreciate that, Kurt. But yeah, there was it was fun, kind of putting a name to a face with some of the commenters and listeners and readers, and it was a good mixture, as I said, of folks that were part of the Bronco Nation news family. So we had a lot of fun out there, and again, really appreciate everybody. And these might be my favorite sunglasses, by the way. ICCU passed out free sunglasses. They were in the swag bag, and we appreciate Idaho Central for giving those out. But these are some sharp-looking sunglasses here from ICCU. I'm going to be wearing these by the pool all summer, and they're looking good. So appreciate ICCU for the T-shirts and sunglasses. We had ropaint.com giving out the golf towels, the pens, all kinds of great stuff. And it was just a lot of fun, and appreciate everybody that helped. And it's I say it every time, but the kind of family we've built here in the community at Bronco Nation News has been awesome to see. And so, just want to thank everybody. Thank Colin Mitchell for his work restocking all the drinks and everything. He did a great job as always. As I said, the Morales brothers was able to hook them up with some Tin Roof tacos and Crave Delivery gift cards for their help. But they didn't do it for that. They didn't want to take it, and I made them take it. They do a great job. And again, they had to make 2 runs to get ice. They had a lot of work they had to do the entire time, and I really appreciate them. As I said, this is kind of my media family here with Johnny and Prater and JP and Jay Tust and all the guys we work with. So I really appreciate them. It was a lot of fun to have all them out there, and having KTIK broadcast from the tournament, I thought added a lot to it. So that added a lot to have them out there broadcasting from the tournament. And Coach Burns was on there having some fun. There was some joking. That show, if you want to listen to it, the KTIK show from Friday is now up online, KTIK.com. It's on their podcast feed. A lot of great interviews, a lot of great talk and joking around about the tournament. So I encourage you to go listen to their show from Friday, which was live out there at Timberstone. Rudy chiming in that the swag was awesome. Appreciate you, Rudy. I don't know if I had a picture with you. I probably did somewhere, and I apologize if I didn't make it to put it up here. I got a lot going on. But my two favorite pictures from the tournament, again, my wife and son helping out. We had a great raffle. We had some great raffle prizes we were giving away. We raised, I want to say, like $1,500 from the raffle and from the mulligans alone. So appreciate my wife and my mother-in-law, Melanie, for helping out, and my son Naismith out there. This was my favorite photo. I might try to get this one framed to have my son up there helping with the raffle tickets at the tournament. And it was just a lot of fun to be able to share that day with them. And a lot of work went into it by a lot of people, and for the most part, it went out pretty smoothly. So we were happy with the way it went and appreciate everybody, again, that came and checked it out, and all of our great sponsors. Seeing Matt Bauscher out there was great, and some of the other sponsors. So, yeah, we'll try to do some other stuff. I'd love to get the monthly happy hour going on, or just to get folks together to meet up, and we'll see if we can do maybe a monthly happy hour if folks are in for that, or maybe an evening live show or something. We'll figure something out to try to keep everything together, especially this summer before we get into football season. But huge shout out Tin Roof Tacos, by the way. That was, all of our sponsors were great, but I heard more positive things about Tin Roof Tacos than anybody. They were giving away tacos and chips and salsa. It was amazing out there. So appreciate them for being a sponsor and coming out. And it was hole 13 was the only hole in the course that had a backup, and that was because of the Tin Roof Tacos, and folks didn't want to leave and eat the tacos and things they had there. So we appreciate them. Perry saying, looks like it was a good time. Yes, it was an awesome one. Jordan saying one of the best shows ever. It was a fun show on Friday with KTIK and those folks out there. So happy that they were able to do it. Again, Atkinson's Beer and Glass, appreciate them for being involved. They had Jay playing with them. I know that was a fun group. Shop Strange had John Mallory playing with them. I know they had a good time. I'm not sure if they took more shots or hit more shots, but I know they had a great time out there for the Shop Strange group. And I mentioned Tin Roof Tacos, all of our great sponsors, and the headliners, obviously. But Stein Distributing, total shout out to Joe Agagna. Stein Distributing provided the alcohol, and the signage that you see there. Really appreciate them as well. I mean, I could go on for hours thanking everybody, but it was just an awesome tournament and a lot of fun. And we were able to use some of the money to purchase some things like these new banners here. We've got some retractable banners, and we've got some other things that help us, the lighting and stuff that help us take the show on the road. So even when I'm with family or out of Boise, and we can still have the show each day. And so we made a lot of improvements to the infrastructure and the equipment to Bronco Nation News that you'll be seeing rolled out over here over the summer. And that's going to be stuff that helps, whether we're at Mountain West Media Days doing live shows, or on the road, for football road trips or whatever. We use some of the money from this tournament to improve some of the equipment. So that's going to be something you'll notice moving forward. But yeah, glad to be in my parents' basement here with this setup. So appreciate everybody again for the tournament, for following us, and here at Bronco Nation News. And it's been a lot of fun. And again, I appreciate Andy Rowe at ropepaint.com and Shelby and the crew at ICCU. They just all do a great job, and those, they really carried the load on this thing. And thank you to Lithia Ford as Boise as well. Nobody won the car. I forgot to mention them. Nobody won the car, but big shout out Jim Sturk. Now he had Dan Potter playing with him, the men's golf coach. So I think that helped his score, certainly. But we had 3 teams tie at 59. I never actually gave out the scores. 3 teams tied at 59. Brian McMartin's team came away with the win. We had, as I mentioned, Thomas Spurbeck's team was second place. And then you had the group with Mark Moss and 2 of our sponsors, actually, Chris Meinert and Brandon Meinert. They finished in third, but all 3 tied at 59. There was a scorecard playoff. I believe Mike Prater's group had 60, so they were 1 off, but only minus 13. So course was in good shape. It was playing tough, and I don't think you had too much cheating or anything going on. So I thought overall it was just a great day out there, and I appreciate everybody that was a part of it. So I apologize that we couldn't have the recap show on Monday, but I was traveling, so we are doing it here on a Tuesday. So John Mallory will join me tomorrow, and we'll get to talk on number 4, number 3 on our list, and then Mike Prater on Thursday, and we'll wrap up our 25 most important players to the Boise State football team on Friday with number 1. And then we'll move right into a new series. We'll continue the offseason football talk. We got some other stuff as well. Chad says, sorry I couldn't make it out. Emailed you, had some things pop up. So yeah, we will we'll find a time, Chad. We'll get together. No worries there. And I can't please everybody. I mean, can't make it work when everybody could. Kurt says ball game whiff 5 times. I don't know if he did. I don't know if there was an actual whiff. We had certainly some where he topped it a few times, but I'm not sure how many he actually missed completely. We'll get the final word on that tomorrow. And maybe he'll let us play the famous video that I have that so far to this point has not been allowed, to this point. So, we'll continue it a little bit with Johnny and Prater tomorrow and Thursday and continue our countdown. But thank you so much to everybody for being a part of it. Raised a lot of money for charity, and we're thankful and happy for that. And we will be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Mountain Time, 10 a.m. here in St. Louis with John Mallory as we continue our countdown. This has been Bronco Nation News live on location, and we're keeping things rolling here in the summer off-season. Boise State football, Boise State basketball talk every day for the most part, unless I'm traveling, but almost every day, 9 a.m. here at Bronco Nation News, bronconationnews.com. You can download the audio podcast version if that's easier for you to listen to on the go. If you can't watch us live, you can do that on Apple Podcasts app. I believe it's on Spotify and Amazon Music as well. So just go to the Apple Podcasts app on your smartphone, your iPhone, and search Bronco Nation News. Then each episode gets posted there about an hour or so after the show. So appreciate you again. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Bronco Nation News, bronconationnews.com.
At ICCU, to make a difference, it takes just one connection. A friendly face, an open ear, a helping hand. And then something amazing happens. We find out that we're better together. This is what Idaho Central does in our communities every day. We help our members with the small things and big dreams. This is what believing in you is all about. Idaho Central Credit Union, looking after your daily balance.